We are back with another incredible Black Inspirational Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
How
so
are you
much for
today?
inviting me. I'm great. I'm great. No complaints. No complaints. Very excited. We're premiering Thanksgiving. It's coming
Yes.
finally.
Can't wait. Can't wait. It's probably my favorite holiday, actually.
Is it all the food?
I
Well,
just
we're in
love eating.
Toronto. Oh, I was just gonna
Hmm?
say we're in Toronto. We're in Toronto, and so we're probably not gonna get a Thanksgiving because I can't find any good soul food for delivery.
Oh no.
I feel like
Really? They got some
yeah.
good they got some good Jamaican food out there though. And they're not
Oh, we
delivering.
haven't had that. We haven't had that yet. Yeah, yeah. We'll have to check it out.
Yes, yes. So let's get into it. Now, take your time answering this question. First of all, I just want to check in and see how you've been and see how your year has been. We had a lot of social unrest, all the protests and whatnot. Um, but how has this year been for you with all the protests and mentally? How was that affecting you and whatnot?
Yes, it's one of those things you do want to take like a second
Yeah,
because
take your time.
it's so much has happened in this year that has never happened before, especially in America, because of the protesting with George Floyd and also with COVID and this quarantine. And so honestly, I feel like everybody grew up a little bit this
Yeah,
year,
big time.
right? Uh, you had the veil taken away from some maybe long held beliefs that you had in the past. I know I did. And you had to be confronted with reality and make a decision on what you were going to do with that revelation, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
So it was in its way very maturing, to be honest with you, this year. I feel like I'm in my 30s, but I matured.
Yeah. I could not agree with you more. And now to
Yeah.
switch gears a little bit, you've been having a big year working now.
Yes, yes, that's crazy. It's what a blessing. What a complete blessing.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about that in a sec. But first, now you went to Cal State Long Beach, graduated with a BA in theater arts,
The way
then you
you said it, I'm
received.
sorry, the way you said it made it sound like you might have been a fellow 49er. So
I'm a 49er fan.
not the
But
Long Beach.
no, Long Beach.
Okay, okay, continue.
No,
Sorry.
I had some family though. I had some family with the Long Beach. I went to school somewhere else, but I went to school.
Okay.
uh, and you received a full scholarship to the University of South Carolina, where you earned your Master's of Fine Arts in Acting. You booked roles in the Bobby Brown biopic, The Oval, Ruthless, Sneakerella. Tell us about your journey starting in college and how that was and how it shaped who you are today and the type of actress that you are today.
Okay. Yes. It definitely started in college. I started late. I became a theater major in junior college. I was just trying to find something I wanted to do with my life as a career. So I fell in love with acting, went to Cal State Long Beach 49ers, got my theater arts degree, and yes, was really blessed to get a full ride scholarship to University of South Carolina, as we like to call ourselves the original USC, just saying.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
But that was incredible. Honestly, best decision of my life. It really challenged me on a completely higher level than anything else. Our schedule, what was required of us, teaching, just such a great experience. I highly suggest it for anybody who's considering, secondary education. So I loved it, and then I came back and got a theatrical rep to represent me on TV and film, and then I started auditioning. And
Yes.
thankfully, it's like you mentioned, those wonderful projects have came through, and my journey has been really blessed, really, you know
Yes.
I've had a great trajectory, I believe. But it's also funny because if you think about it, it's been 5 years. And I think sometimes what people don't realize when they're considering acting is like, you named about maybe 4 out of like 8 of my big, like, network projects or whatever, but that's over a course of 5 years, and that's still considered good. So it's a long run. It's a marathon, right? Not a sprint. So that was something that I'm still constantly like always working through, right? Reminding myself of. Yeah.
No, you've absolutely been killing it. Not to mention you've worked with a nonprofit organization, City Hearts LA. What did you do there, and what made you choose to start working with a nonprofit?
I kind of fell into teaching, and I'm happy I did actually. I came back home, and my agent someone reached out to my agent to ask if I would start if she knew any teachers, and so I had to teach to get my graduate degree. So she was aware of that. We got connected, and then from there, I found out about the nonprofit that went into lower income communities or schools that basically can't necessarily afford to put their money into arts education. And I was with them for about 7 years. And it's just so fulfilling. That's why I kept it up, even after just needing it as a job.
Right.
It just became so fulfilling that it no longer, it's not necessarily that I needed it as much as for financial reasons, I needed it for myself.
Yeah. Oh, really get that.
It was so, it's just so wonderful to work with students. I was with the high school Discovery Charter Prep. I was with them for the last 5 years, and just making something out of nothing, because they didn't really have an arts program, into now they have a theater and they put on plays. Yes. Obviously COVID affected it. Yes, but they man, this last year, like we did it, So it's just, I always suggest for people to find an outlet outside of just acting, because you need something to just make you feel like you're contributing.
Right. No, that fills you out. That makes you feel whole. It makes you feel fulfilled for sure. And that's a great suggestion. Do something like that. You feel like a superhero,
Yeah.
Now, you've been working during quarantine and whatnot. How has that been, filming during quarantine?
We like to call it Camp Q. If you've seen like KJ, she talked about it first, because sisters went into the bubble first, right?
Yeah.
Studios. They were the first ones to enter the bubble. They called it Camp Quarantine. It just stuck, and it felt like camp. Honestly, it did. It just felt like Camp BJ, because we all had to live next to each other in these houses, these older houses, and you had a roommate, and then you had like all the food outside, and he even got us like drink trucks, and he got us food trucks. Everything's free. It's crazy. He just made sure we felt good about not being able to leave, because once you're there, you don't leave until you're done.
Right. No, I hear he takes care of everybody.
He takes care of everybody, and he just, and also on the health side, he made sure that he checked with all of the, he checked with the mayor, he checked with all of the professionals in the medical field to make sure that we would be safe and doing all of the correct protocol to keep each other safe. So I felt so safe on his campus. It was incredible.
That's awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about Tally, your role on the hit show The Oval. Tell us how you got that role, how that came about, and what you love most about it.
Yes, actually, Kim Coleman called me in for that. Tyler Perry.
I know Kim.
Good. Oh, okay. She's a godsend. I love
Kim.
But she's a godsend, because she was sending me in for all the pilots that he was auditioning during that one period of time, because he came out with like 4 new shows. And so I auditioned. I got a callback actually for a role on Sisters, but I didn't book it. And then like a few weeks later, after everyone started filming, Tally's role was like a re-release. So it just came out and they needed to fill it. I read, and then they booked me. I got my first recurring role.
Yes. So I actually interviewed Sierra Payton too. She's the
Oh,
best.
Sierra. I'm so proud of her. And she's about to do the Wendy Williams story. I was like, that is perfect casting.
Killing it. Yes, I know,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes,
So she's
yes.
wonderful. She's wonderful.
Yup.
And she's playing it too on Oval.
Yes, yep. Killing it. Oh my gosh, I like killing it. And now tell us about the spinoff, Ruthless, uh,
Hmm.
which the midseason airs on Thanksgiving Day for everybody watching.
Uh-huh.
Tell us a little bit about that. How's that? I actually have a couple of friends on that show too.
Oh,
And tell us
really?
a little bit about the feedback too from all the fans.
Well, first of all, our fans are ruthless. Like our fans are die
Oh,
hard, ruthless fans. Like don't tell
I
them
know.
nothing. you know, you
I
know.
know how that is for sure. That's
So
funny.
they are wonderful. They're so loyal as far as they're just so supportive. Anytime one of us has an IG live, they're popping on. They have their like Facebook fan pages that they've created. So we're so grateful for the fans of Ruthless. Super grateful for them. BET Plus just hit 1 million subscribers a few months ago.
Oh,
Like
what?
everything is just, it is just flying, and it's being very very well received. So that on one side is a gift, right? A
Yeah.
complete gift. And then on the other side, you have Tyler Perry's crazy writing, crazy good, right? Like all the
Yep.
twists and the turns and the cliffhangers for days,
All that drama. Mm-hmm.
all the drama.
Yep.
Now you have it set in this very edgy, dark kind of world, and you know, and right now, as soon as we get back, it's like if I'm trying not to spoil anything for people who haven't caught up, but you need to catch
Yeah.
up. Um,
I need to catch up
but
myself.
yeah, um, yeah. So in the last episode, basically, it's like a life or death moment where Ruth and Tally are trying to save their kids, save themselves, because things are just going way out of hand in the cult. And so that's where we jump right back into, and it is flying. It is riveting. Plus, he heard all those Ruthless fans, and now we're really like he's going deep into the cult, so that there's new characters and there's new plot lines, and everyone's involved in everyone else's story. Yeah, that's exactly the
I'm
drama.
ready. I'm ready. Thanksgiving, I'm gonna be.
Yes, I love that they're doing 3 episodes. It's like, yes,
Yes.
thank you, because we're gonna need them.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
be locked in.
it's a wild ride. It's really fast paced from here. It's like we're kind of checking up the hill at a pretty fast pace, but now it's like rocket ship. So
Yes.
hold on.
Yes. Yes. And one of my friends is Jamie Calica, the
Our
Canadian. The
Canadian.
Canadian. Yep, yep. We're gonna try to get him on here too. We'll get him on
I
here. And
hope
then
so.
Sam Thomas.
Oh, Samantha, yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She was
But
wonderful. First time, and she hit the ground running. That
yeah,
everybody, but definitely Sam.
talent.
Like all the new cast, everybody kept the ball in the air.
Yes,
Really great.
yes. All stars. All stars. So
Yes. Yeah.
what tell us about your a little bit more about your character and the life lessons that you're giving us through your character, or and what we can apply, what we can learn from
Right.
Tal.
Tally. So yes, Tally is my castmates, they call me Tally Vaughn. They like put Yvonne and Tally together
Yeah.
because I do share a
Yes.
lot of similarities with Tally. I'm the mom. I usually end up being like the mom of the group. I have no
Right.
kids, but maybe all my teaching or something, I don't know, but I'm very maternal at heart.
Yes. I get
Yes.
that.
So that's where I relate to Tally, because she's somebody who likes to support people. She tries to save people, be
Mm.
there for people. So that part I relate to a lot. The part that I get challenged with Tally is she lets her nerves and anxiety get the best of her sometimes. And so she'll just spit out something she's not supposed to. She puts her foot in her mouth. She gets them caught. Like, there's so many times I just want to be like, Tally, sit down, take a breath and sit down, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only part with Tally. But I love her. I love her so much. I'm so grateful for the role really being expanded from the Oval into Ruthless, because we're starting to see her and her relationships with Ruth, with Andrew, with Icon, with all these people, and with her daughter. So that's the part I'm excited about for this mid-season, is like that expansion where we start to see even more about Tally and her life and her struggles. Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay, yeah, because we gotta watch.
Yeah.
How is it working with Tyler Perry, and what have you learned from him?
I've learned how to work. Like, that man works. He works. He works. What it's like working with him, to be honest with you, is you call him Mr. Perry. I'll tell you that. It's not like, for me, at least not for me. It's not like, hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
He is director, like first and foremost, he is the director. And he's just got a lot of hats on, as far as he is basically editing on site. You can see it going on in his mind, because he's already written it and he knows what he wants to see. And the nice thing is, he lets you kind of be, as an actor, it's almost as if he trusts that he did the process of casting you well. And so you don't actually get a lot of direction from him, surprisingly enough, unless you're not doing it right. So that's when you don't want to have him talk to you, which honestly, thankfully, doesn't happen on set. Everybody comes with it, because as he likes to say, he roots for the underdog. And I think what he's done is he's put together a cast of people who are very talented, but are also very grateful for this kind of an opportunity in this part of their career, So he's not looking at resumes. Like, you don't have to have 4 series regulars to be his series regular. He lets his name speak for you, as opposed to vice versa. So he's just such a humble man and so gracious. So I really admire that about him.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. The culture he's created is just like no other.
Yeah.
It's so good. Work and have fun, and I love it.
Yeah. So we see him having fun on his boats, his Cadillac,
killing it. Now you're also starring in a highly anticipated movie called Sneakerella. Yes. And you'll be playing the wife of John Sally. How was it playing the wife of John Sally? How is it working with him? God. He's hilarious. He's funny.
You see these eyes? This is my look all the time. It's just like, he is hilarious. He is always on.
That's so funny.
He's very kind, but just so funny. And the stuff that comes out of his mouth is just, sometimes you just like, you just gotta shake your head. But he's very, like I said, he's a very well-meaning person. As far as what it was is recently we had our first scene as a family, and we hadn't had any scenes together, and it's actually our first time meeting each other. But honestly, John Sally had a lot to do with all of us feeling like a family immediately, because that's just his personality. It's like your family immediately. That's what I mean to say. It's like, so, you have your cousin or your uncle or whoever, and everybody who walks in the door, new girlfriend, whatever, they're family. They're going to get it all. Yeah. So that's what it's like working with him. It's been a real just gift. And then Lexi and Robin, who play my daughters, they are so talented. And Liz, our director, she just has a great vision. So I'm just very grateful, especially in this season of COVID, to be on something like this. That's just portraying a Black family royalty on Disney. It's great.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, I love basketball. I love my favorite. I'm a huge Laker fan. I love John Sally though.
Oh, you were happy. You were happy this season. Right? Y'all brought it home.
Yes, I started tearing up. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Oh man, yeah. No, my husband, he's a LeBron. So it's funny because my husband's a LeBron fan, but has been a Laker hater. So he had
Yeah.
to merge the two. He did. He did. So when
I
you
know a
ask
lot of
him,
people
he's
like
like,
that.
yeah. When you ask him, he's like, yeah, I'm happy LeBron won the championship. Like,
Good, good. He can come on the bandwagon. It's all good. Come aboard.
yeah.
Come aboard. All right, now you were casted in the Bobby Brown biopic as Robin
Hmm.
Crawford. And we
Yeah.
actually interviewed someone who was in that, Asia Epperson, who I've actually worked with too on Greenleaf. Uh,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, yeah. How was that? How was being in the Bobby Brown biopic and
You know what? That
working
was
on
that
that?
was a complete blessing, a complete gift. I had quit my job a month before. My
Wow.
job,
Okay.
yeah, my job of 15 years off and on, all through grad school. I kept going back. It's working at T-Mobile. And they were
Uh-huh.
wonderful to me. But I just really felt like, okay, now's the season to just uh, really go full, all in, all in. And so, yeah, Robbie Reed, she's the one, her and George Pierre were the ones who
Yep.
cast me as Robin. And I was so grateful because then I got to work next to Gabrielle, Dennis, who is such an incredible person, so humble and so talented. And I felt like because that was my first feature, made from TV movie, that I really got to learn a lot from my castmates, her, Woody, and also Kyle, our director. So it was just it was immediately family, right? Jesse, our producer, it was just immediately family. And I, for that being my first movie, I was really grateful.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Can you name at least one or two actors that inspired you growing up and why?
Sure. Let's see. One or two actors
Why?
that inspired me growing up. It's funny. I will say Gina Davis actually
Yes.
was one of my favorites when I was younger because she was in a lot of action movies that I liked.
Yeah.
She was beautiful and she was really tall, and I was tall for my age. So I'm 5'9".
Okay.
And so
Yes.
it was nice to see a tall leading lady. So Gina Davis was one of my first. And then after that, I would say that once I became an actor, for me, it was Viola because I knew Viola went to Juilliard, I believe, and she's so skilled,
Yeah.
right? She's such a professional.
Yes.
And I remember Denzel talking about her big binder that she had when she was on Fences, and that she's just takes on that role so seriously. And so for me, once I started actually professionally acting, I really used her as my role model for how to do this seriously,
Yeah.
right? And be professional and be high quality when I'm booked on a job.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh, there's so much to learn from Viola. She puts on a clinic. She's actually one of my favorite
Mm,
actors as well, actors as
yeah,
well. Um,
yeah.
now, can you please share some positive words for people who might be discouraged in this time of unrest and who might be,
Yeah,
feeling down and whatnot?
absolutely. I actually recently reposted my friend Sarah Fontenot. She's a inspirational speaker, and I remember that my husband and I, we have a production company, and there was a day that I felt like a complete fool for believing that I could make a career out of playing pretend,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there come those moments in whatever dream you're going after where part of you feels like that dream is so far-fetched that you feel silly is a nice word of it for even considering that you could get there, right?
Right.
And that was that particular day, and I was really upset, but we had to film her doing a radio show because it was our gig that we had booked with her. And I remember that her biggest thing was go until, like, that's it. Just go until.
Yeah.
And that was what I needed to hear. If you check on my page, you can hear it a lot more clearly. She has a nice little like segment that she talks about. But for me, that's where I think that applies to anything that we're going after, right? That regardless of any obstacles that we hit, regardless of how long it's taking, regardless of if we see it happening with our own eyes and the expectations we have, regardless of all those things, if this is what we feel is our gift and our purpose and what we're supposed to achieve and accomplish, then we just have to go until, because the next day, that's the phone call you get for your big break. The next day, it's like, oh yeah, you did that recurring role. Tyler's decided to make it into a series. You're a series regular now. And you didn't have to audition to be a series regular. It's stuff like that where it just blows your mind what tomorrow can bring. So for anyone who is in those moments, and they all come to us, find supportive people who you can lean on and get you back up on that road so you can keep going until, right?
Oh my gosh. I could not have said it better myself. That, I needed to hear that, actually.
Oh, good.
That is amazing. So many gems you just dropped right there.
Oh, thank
so
you.
Truthful.
Well, go to my page though and see the full one, because I am not doing Sarah's justice on her part of that. Yeah. And I feel like I need to hear that almost every other day.
Yeah. No, we need to be reminded, especially during times like these where, it can feel kind of hopeless and we're kind of worried about what we can't see right now. And, so.
Yeah. Because we don't know what's happening that we're not seeing, what's getting worked on in the background. Like there was a recent callback that I had of a project that I self-taped for in March or May. Because of COVID, they couldn't, they stopped, they didn't let us know. And then a callback came, and then, thankfully we just found out that I booked it. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So, you don't know what's happening back there. You don't know what the reason is. It's not, so you just got to keep going.
Yeah. What may I ask, what have you done to kind of keep that peace? And because that could create a lot of anxiety, that can make you anxious and that impatience. What have you found that helps you with all that?
What I really discovered in the last 2 years was actually writing down what my expectations are, sorry, I'm just gonna do that. Writing down what my expectations are. So I feel like sometimes you just know or have a feeling that something's gonna happen this year. You're like, you know what? It's just the year of my house. You know what? This is the year I'm gonna book that series regular. You know what? Oh. So I actually felt at the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? I feel like this blessing that's for me this year is a feature role on a show, on a movie that I get to actually look pretty in, to be honest with you. Very specific, because I love my roles, but most of them have not been the most glamorous.
Yeah.
So
we all need those.
Yeah, as a girl, you just want to get your hair done and get your makeup done, right? Yeah.
I get that.
I think it's important to be very specific with this, what you believe like is for you. And I wrote it down, and I even wrote that my husband and I would travel internationally. And I just wrote it, and I would say it when I didn't see it, when COVID hit and no one's getting auditions. I would just say it. I would just say it and believe it and thank God for it. That's what I do. And then just keep working, right? Just keep working. Because Tyler Perry has a quote that in People magazine, he says, it's okay if you can't see how your dreams are going to happen. Just pray, work, believe, and repeat. Pray, work, believe, and repeat. And I feel like that's what you do. You work, you believe for something big, And writing it down is just so helpful because it's something you can see when, like we said, we can't see what's going on behind the scenes, right? So at least seeing it, saying it, because your mind doesn't know it's not reality yet. So just saying it over and over, it's like, oh, you get that, you get out of that anxiety of like, I'll never. Because that's the other thing. People are like, oh, like that's silly to say something to yourself every day, but you don't realize how many times your mind says you can't do something every day.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you got to combat it, because that's just going to happen.
Yep.
Your mind's just going to tell you all day, that'll never. So whatever you feed grows. So speak positive about yourself,
Yeah.
So that's would be my tip, is honestly write down your goals, write down what you believe for yourself, write down who you believe you are, even if you don't see it yet. And next thing you know, you look in the mirror like, this is exactly, so that would be my suggestion.
Boom. So many gems, man. So many gems. I love it. I love it. And pray, work, believe. Me and Mr. Perry might be on the same page.
Yeah, it looks like y'all
that's
on the
what I'll
same
be doing. That's what I'll be doing. And it's, you're right. It's that energy you put out. It's the energy you want to get back in. And no matter how hard it is, you gotta work on that energy.
Yeah. And what you're believing about yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Last but not least, how can people stay following your journey? How can you link the people with your social media?
Sure thing. So you can find me. I made it real easy. It's just Yvonne Senat on all the platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Insta. It is on TikTok, but like I have like one video. Don't follow me on TikTok.
That's more than me.
Yeah, follow me on Insta. I'm pretty active on Insta. Yeah.
Yes, I love it. Well, I'm not gonna hold you any longer.
No problem.
Thank you, Miss Yvonne Senat Jones. Thank you so much for the gems and all that inspiration. You're killing it. I'm inspired right now. I'm about to, go write a book or something.
Thank you, BJ. Thank you. I appreciate it. Those are some killer questions. So thank you.
No, thank you so much. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes.
Thank you. I will, because we have our 3 episodes dropping.
Boom. Don't forget to watch on Thanksgiving, or catch up if you need to catch up.
Yes. BET Plus. Ruthless.
Yes.